In 2025, former President Donald Trump unveiled one of the most ambitious and controversial defense initiatives in U.S. history: the Golden Dome Missile Defense System. Inspired by Ronald Reagan's Star Wars concept from the 1980s, the Golden Dome aims to create a futuristic shield over the United States, a multi-layered network designed to detect, track, and intercept enemy missiles, including ballistic, cruise, and hypersonic weapons, before they can reach American soil. At the core of the Golden Dome is a revolutionary combination of space-based technology, artificial intelligence, and high-speed interceptors. One of its most striking features is a constellation of space-based interceptors capable of targeting and destroying enemy missiles during their boost phase, immediately after launch when the missile is most vulnerable. These satellites, possibly launched and managed in partnership with private companies like SpaceX, act as sentinels in orbit, scanning for threats and deploying kinetic kill vehicles, non-explosive projectiles that collide with and neutralize missiles in space. Supporting this orbital defense is an AI-powered sensor network that spans land, sea, air, and space. These sensors use radar, infrared, and electromagnetic technologies to detect missile launches around the globe, feeding data into a central command system. With the help of machine learning, this system analyzes the speed, trajectory, and origin of threats in real time, making split-second decisions to initiate countermeasures. In the event a missile slips past the space-based defenses, a network of ground-based interceptors provides a secondary layer of protection. These upgraded versions of existing defense systems are strategically placed across the U.S. and allied territories, ready to destroy incoming threats in mid-flight or during their descent. All these components are coordinated through an integrated command and control network, which links military branches and allied defense systems to ensure seamless communication and rapid response. This digital infrastructure enables the system to operate at unprecedented speed and scale, offering the possibility of near-total missile defense coverage. What sets the Golden Dome apart is its ambition to create a global and preemptive defense system, one that not only reacts to threats but actively eliminates them at the source, often from space. While its supporters see it as a necessary step in protecting America against modern missile threats, critics argue it is a costly and potentially destabilizing project. Concerns have been raised about its technological feasibility, massive price tag, estimated to exceed $400 billion, and its implications for the militarization of space, which could violate or challenge long-standing international treaties. Nonetheless, the Golden Dome represents a bold shift in how the United States envisions its national defense in an increasingly volatile world. Whether it becomes a groundbreaking shield or a high-priced dream, it signals a new era where the front lines of defense may lie far above Earth's surface. The process: how it works. Imagine a clear sky over America. Everything is calm. People are heading to work, playing with their children in the park, sipping coffee by the window. But somewhere, thousands of kilometers away, on the other side of the world, a missile is suddenly launched, ballistic, hypersonic, or cruise, it doesn't matter. It rises above the horizon, leaving a fiery trail behind, and begins its deadly journey toward American soil. Seconds are ticking by. And this is precisely where the Golden Dome comes into play. A next-generation missile defense system designed to ensure that no threat ever reaches its target. Almost instantly after launch, the hostile missile is detected by dozens of eyes pointed at the planet. Special infrared satellites register the heat signature from the missile's engine, even if it only lasts a few seconds. Ground-based radars, hidden in deserts, mountains, and forests, immediately pick up the object's movement and transmit the data to the central command system. On the ocean surface, deep in submarines, and high in the skies, marine and airborne sensors complete the surveillance chain. All of this is linked together into a massive neural network, an intelligent system living on high-performance computers in mountain bunkers and mobile command units. It's fed not only by raw numbers and trajectories but also by the accumulated experience of thousands of simulated scenarios. The moment the missile is spotted, real-time analysis begins. Artificial intelligence assesses the type of missile, its speed, trajectory, launch point, and predicted target. It determines whether this is a single strike, a full-scale salvo, or a decoy. Within 1 or 2 seconds, a decision is made. The threat is real. The system switches to combat mode, and the first line of defense is activated. Orbital interceptors. These are satellites in low Earth orbit, specially designed to shoot down missiles in their earliest phase, right after launch, when they've ignited and accelerated but haven't yet gained altitude or released warheads. This is the missile's most vulnerable moment. If an interceptor satellite is in the right position, it activates instantly. It launches a kinetic projectile, not a traditional explosive warhead, but a solid object traveling at tremendous speed. There's no explosion, just a direct hit. It destroys the enemy missile purely through the force of impact. It's like shooting a bullet with another bullet, at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. If the impact is accurate, the missile is destroyed in space, long before it's even halfway through its flight. But orbital interception isn't always possible. That's when the second layer of defense kicks in. The central system has already calculated the missile's path and activates the nearest ground-based launch platforms. These interceptor systems could be located anywhere, inside silos, on mobile trucks, or even aboard warships in the ocean. A surface-launched interceptor races into the sky, not guided by a human operator but by a real-time algorithm that factors in target movement, weather conditions, and even the probability of decoys or fake warheads. This entire process is continuously fed with updated sensor data. As the hostile missile approaches U.S. airspace, the final and most critical phase begins. The interceptor locks onto the target and closes in, within fractions of a meter. Then comes the moment of impact, a direct hit. The enemy missile disintegrates into fragments, which burn harmlessly in the upper atmosphere. No explosion above a city. No casualties. No fallout. It all ends within minutes. People who were just looking at the sky will never know what almost happened. Perhaps only in the evening news will they hear. The Golden Dome system successfully repelled a missile attack. Meanwhile, somewhere in the desert or in orbit, analysts are already reviewing the data, improving algorithms, and preparing for the next possible threat. This is how the Golden Dome works. Like a living organism, reacting faster than a human mind can comprehend. How does the American space-based missile interceptors work? In the vast silence above our planet, far beyond the noise of cities and the reach of aircraft, a different kind of guardian may one day orbit Earth. Space-based missile interceptors. Imagine a world where hostile nations launch an intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBM, aimed at the U.S. homeland. The missile rises in a flash of fire, racing towards space at over 24,000 kilometers per hour, 15,000 miles per hour. It's armed with nuclear warheads, and within minutes, it could cross oceans to obliterate its target. But it's not alone up there. Watching silently from orbit are America's ever-alert eyes. Early warning satellites equipped with infrared sensors, part of systems like the space-based infrared system. These satellites are incredibly sensitive. The launch of a missile produces an intense heat signature, a blazing fingerprint in the cold dark of space. The moment the missile ignites, these satellites spot it and alert U.S. defense systems in real time. Within seconds, a global web of computers, command centers, and radar stations begins tracking the missile's trajectory. They calculate its path, its target, and most importantly, the perfect point to intercept it. But how do you stop a missile that's flying through space, potentially releasing multiple warheads or decoys? This is where the space-based interceptor comes into play. Unlike ground-based systems, which must launch interceptors upward against gravity, space-based platforms already have the high ground. Orbiting in low Earth orbit, LEO, these interceptors are poised to strike during the most vulnerable window, the boost phase, when the missile's engines are still firing. During this phase, the missile is hot, slow, and not yet able to release its deadly payload. Upon receiving tracking data, the nearest interceptor platform activates. Think of it like a tiny robotic satellite, armed with a kinetic kill vehicle, a compact, ultra-fast projectile designed not to explode, but to collide with the missile in a head-on strike at tens of thousands of kilometers per hour. There's no room for error. Guided by onboard sensors, AI, and real-time updates from other satellites, the interceptor aligns itself, fires the kill vehicle, and within seconds, a precision collision occurs. The force is devastating, even without explosives. It's the same principle as a bullet shattering another bullet mid-flight, but in the vacuum of space and at unimaginable speeds. This method is known as hit-to-kill technology. It's clean, fast, and leaves little chance for the enemy missile to complete its journey. Now, this whole system depends on having many interceptor satellites strategically positioned across the globe. Space is vast, and to catch a missile during its brief boost phase, an interceptor must already be near the launch site in orbit. That means the US would need a constellation of these satellites, constantly moving, communicating, and standing ready. Such a system has been imagined before. In the 1980s, during the Cold War, the US conceived of a bold program called Brilliant Pebbles. Hundreds of small, autonomous space-based interceptors designed to patrol orbit and intercept ICBMs. Though the project was eventually cancelled, it laid the groundwork for today's ideas and technologies. But building and maintaining such a system is no easy feat. The costs are astronomical, both literally and figuratively. Each satellite must be launched, maintained, and defended against attacks. Space-based weapons could also provoke geopolitical tension or violate treaties, leading to an arms race in space. That's why, for now, the US relies primarily on ground and sea-based systems, such as Ground-Based Mid-Course Defense, GMD, in Alaska and California, Aegis ballistic missile defense on Navy ships, and THAAD systems designed for terminal phase interception. Yet, the idea of space-based interceptors hasn't been abandoned. New programs are exploring advanced sensors like the Hypersonic and Ballistic Tracking Space Sensor, HBTSS, to better track missiles in space. Directed energy weapons, like space-based lasers, are also being studied for future applications, offering a silent, light-speed way to take down threats from orbit. In the end, space-based missile interceptors represent a vision of defense at the edge of science and strategy. A system that could one day patrol Earth's skies invisibly, silently protecting nations from the fastest and deadliest threats humanity has ever created.